Okay, and for my next video, this is going to go out to Turbo Cobra, and if you have not seen Turbo Cobra's channel, go check that out because he does some amazing body work, and he has a custom Mustang that him and his son built. It's a father-son project. There are some other people involved, you know, friends and family, but it's basically a father-son project, and that Mustang is just amazing. It's got a Supra 2J right in that sucker, and that thing gets it. Unfortunately, he just wrecked it and they're basically building it over. So there's plenty more videos to come from Turbo Cobra, and I highly recommend you go check out his channel if you're interested in body shop work. That means metal fabrication, welding, grinding, you name it. So without further ado, here is my latest tool. I just got this quarter cable PC60TAG Type 1 120 volt, a 6 amp motor, a 4.5 inch disc, with a 5/8 inch arbor, I believe. I don't know what -11 means, but it's got a thumb switch. I'm guessing that's the lock for swapping out the disc. This is my first angle grinder, and I received this from a friend. I'll just call him David S. out of Texas. And David and I have been friends online for, I don't know, 5 to 6 years, something like that. He's a programmer. I helped him out every once in a while with graphic assets and ideas and things. He wants to make a game, and so I've been kind of helping him with ideas and stuff and seeing how it's progressed. And what he does in his spare time is woodworking. So he loves to woodwork. He bought himself a lathe, so he's more into the woodworking stuff, and he bought himself a brand new grinder, and he had this as a spare. And I said, well, darn, you know, how much do you want for it? And he said, shit, I'll send it to you for free, just pay the shipping. So I gave him 30 bucks for the shipping. So I got a portal cable grinder for 30 bucks from a friend. If you haven't checked out Turbo Cobra's channel, I recently asked him a question, and he was gracious enough to give me an entire 15-minute video response on grinder basics, because this is the first time I've ever owned a grinder. So if you're familiar with my channel, I went on a research binge for like 2 days straight. I was just researching everything I could find out about grinders. He gave me some discs here, and one of the things that I've learned about grinder discs is that they have an expiration date. So this one happens to be 2014. This disc I cannot use. This is a cutoff wheel, and this is a Type 1 cutoff wheel. It's used, yeah, but even then it's still no good. And this disc is a grinding disc, and this one looks pretty good, and there's no expiration date on this one. I'm assuming that these don't go bad, Type 27, but I'm not sure about that. I'm sure Turbo Cobra will tell me if this is okay to use or not. From watching videos, manufacturers, they'll tell you never use a disc that's expired, because the resins and things that are inside of here that actually bind and hold this thing together will expire, and that increases the likelihood of your disc shattering and breaking and hurting yourself. And I'm not even going to use this yet because obviously there's no guard. Fortunately, I looked up the model number on here, and I can find a guard replacement for this for only 10 bucks. So I'm going to get a guard for that. A really neat feature is that the key for changing out your discs is zip tied with a metal bracket. And I don't know if it's stock like that, but if it is, that's a really good idea, because they put it on the end of the cable, so it forces you to remember that you want to unplug the cable anytime that you're going to be swapping out a disc. So that's really cool. I like how it's right at the end there. That's really smart. And if you guys can make something like this for your own grinders, I would recommend that, because this just seems like a brilliant idea for safety. And speaking of safety, Turbo Cobra, thank you very much for the video and all of the safety advice that you gave me. I have purchased a foam backed safety glasses, you know, like these, except they have foam on the outside here, and they're actually an elastic band goggle, kind of like basketball glasses. Plus I got a full 3M face shield. That was like, you know, 13 bucks for that, and the glasses were like 10 bucks, and I'll put a link in the description when those come in. And I also got some other safety related item that I can't quite remember right now. So this is my new tool. So combine this with my bench vise, and I'll be able to grind right through just about anything. No more Dremel. Say hello to Dremel 2.0. Actually, this is more like Dremel 5.0. This is freaking a Dremel on steroids. This is getting up with the big boys. And if you're familiar with my channel, I've used Dremel to do just about anything that an angle grinder would do. I have used my Dremel as an angle grinder on more than one occasion, and it just takes a little longer, but you can do it. So now I should be able to zip through with a little bit more speed. As soon as I get my safety gear in and my guard in and have that ordered, then I will use it. I refuse to use it, and I do not recommend anyone ever use an angle grinder that does not have the guard and not using proper safety equipment. Do yourself a favor if you're going to do anything with angle grinding, or even if you already have an angle grinder. Do yourself a favor. Do a Google image search for angle grinder injury, and it will show you there is a definite reason those safety procedures are in place. There are some seriously horrific accidents that happen because of these tools, and most of them could have been prevented if they would have just followed safety procedures, especially wearing a full face shield. Most of the injuries that I saw were done on the face. I mean, imagine this thing sticking halfway into somebody's face. It's not pretty, and that might have been avoided if they used face protection, not just eye protection, full face protection, either a welding helmet in grind mode or a face shield, a polycarbonate 3M face shield that's ANSI approved kind of thing. I'm very safety conscious because I like my face. It might not be pretty, but I like my face just the way it is. This was kind of an unexpected thing. If you can see how this side handle is off on an angle, maybe a 15-degree angle, and I'm not sure why that is. If somebody can tell me why that is, instead of straight across. And there's also a hole in the top so that I can go at it this way, and of course on the other side. So that's kind of neat. I don't know if my hands are going to actually be closer to the wheel now, and I might want to end up going like way out here with it and keep my hands pretty far away. So we'll see. So that's my new tool, and thank you, David S. in Texas, my programming and gaming buddy. Most of you hardcore shop fab guys are going to be saying, okay, he's got a grinder now, so when's the welder coming? Well, eventually. I really do want to add a welder which will validate a grinder. I want to be able to weld and then grind those welds and pretend I'm super awesome like Turbo Cobra. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Go check out Turbo Cobra. Have a good one.